Manchester United have just lost 3-2 to Bayern Munich in the opening Champions League group stage game. 2 goals from Casemiro, a goal from Rasmus HOJLUND on his Manchester United Champions League debut, and then 4 goals obviously from Bayern Munich. Overall, the goals from Bayern were from Sane, Gnabry, Harry Kane and Tell in the last couple of minutes. The scoreline maybe flatters us a little bit. I think in the first 20 minutes of the game, we were really good. I think we looked the better side. I think we looked like we could go up against any team in world football and give them a good contest in the first 20 minutes. But it was that same thing. Every single time Manchester United come out in the last 5 or 6 games of the season, the first 15 or 20 minutes of the game, I'm sat there saying, incredible, we're doing really well. And then something switches in our brain and we just start going downhill and downhill and downhill. It seems to happen at the 20-minute mark every single game. Do the players not have the fitness to be able to keep up the pressing for the whole match? I don't know entirely what it is. I'm still trying to get my head around it. It is a little bit confusing. I did think that maybe we would be able to get a draw out of that game. Obviously, 4-3 makes you think that we were closer than we were. I think Bayern were dominating for 90% of that match. We tried to bring it back in the last couple of minutes, but it didn't really get us anywhere. Obviously, we've got this massive game against Burnley on Saturday now, which is, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. We have to go and win this game against Burnley. We really, really do. Obviously, Onana made an absolutely awful mistake in the first half to give Bayern their first goal. And you know what? I'll be completely honest. Ever since the Onana goal, I think we started to go downhill. I think before that, we were on top. We looked like we could genuinely win or at least draw the game. As soon as that error happened from Onana, which obviously I know he's going to know how bad that error was, we completely lost all faith and it went into a complete shambles from that point onwards. And it's really frustrating because you know what? I did think that we might be able to get a bit of a result there away from Bayern. I thought that it might be the game that kickstarts our season. I thought it might be the Liverpool of last year where at home, I think we'd lost 3 or 4 games or something in a row. We were doing really poorly. Liverpool come to Old Trafford and then we give them a really, really good match and we win it. I thought that might be the game tonight. I mean, 4-3 isn't terrible. We didn't get thrashed, but we still needed to get something from that. I know most of you sat at home are thinking, well, we're not going to win the Champions League anyway, so why does it matter? I get it, but it's not always about that, is it? It's about the mentality that a win or a good result will give for the rest of your season, for the bounce that it will allow the teams to then go on and perform. And I think tonight, they'll go away disappointed. I think they'll go away thinking that they could have got a result out of that game. And I agree. But for large portions of the game, we didn't look as interested. As soon as that Onana goal went in, our heads dropped. And that's just too much of a common factor at Manchester United over the last 5 to 10 years, really. You know, we have one moment of badness in the game and our heads drop and then we just don't seem to work hard. Let's try and take a few positive from this game. Obviously, Rasmus HOJLUND got his first goal for Manchester United, so fair play to him. Casemiro got 2 goals. I think both of his goals were pretty dodgy, to be honest. So I'm not going to sit here and big up Casemiro because I thought he was poor tonight. I think he's been poor all season. Yes, he got 2 goals, but both of them were dodgy. They weren't, we'll leave it at that. Onana, terrible. Made a couple of good saves later on in the game, but that goal that he conceded at the beginning was absolutely awful. It literally was. It was straight at him and he fumbled it into the goal. It was awful. The rest of the team, I thought Bruno was average. I thought Rashford was okay. Pellistri was okay. Garnacho was okay when he came on. It was just an okay performance alongside a couple of really poor performances. There wasn't really any standout players. There wasn't anybody who came away from that game saying, they did incredible. We should have won. I mean, McTominay is a ghost. What's the point in even having him come on the pitch? Casemiro, I think he's not up to it anymore this season anyway. Eriksen, I think his legs are gone. I don't think he's up to the standards that we need. And it's just eye-opening again of how many players we need to bring in and out. And I was saying in the game earlier, I was saying, I can't believe that Eriksen is actually starting a game of this size. I literally was saying that I was slagging him off and then next thing you know, he gives away a penalty. Albeit the penalty was quite unlucky. But overall, I don't think Eriksen is good enough to be playing or starting every single game for Manchester United. I think you can start him at home in the League Cup if you're playing a Championship squad side. Maybe give that a try. But ever since he got injured last season, Eriksen has not been the same player. He's been really, really poor. Obviously, he had that horrible tackle against him, that scissor tackle, didn't he, from Andy Carroll. I think it was against Reading in the League Cup. Ever since then, Eriksen's not been the same player. That does sometimes happen with these older types of players, They have a bad injury and then they just seem to not ever recover from it fully. And I think that has happened to Eriksen. And obviously, I think when his contract expires, we definitely shouldn't be keeping him at Manchester United, for me personally. But let me know what you guys think about that. Who was your standout performance? So we've got one. After this season, Eriksen will have one more year at Manchester United. And I think that's about right, personally. I think anything more than that would be too much. I'm going to read out a couple of your comments in a minute as well to see what you guys are thinking. I'm just going to rattle through. I just want to say this as well really, really quickly. I don't think Bayern Munich were even that good tonight. I'll be honest. I'm going to be completely fair. I don't think Bayern Munich were very good. Like, they were better than us, but they weren't world class. If that was an informed Bayern Munich, if that was an informed Manchester City, I reckon we would have got absolutely slaughtered tonight. I reckon it could have been 6 or 7, easily. They hit the post twice in the second half alone. So that scoreline flatters us a little bit, I think. It makes us seem that we were in the game. We were in the game for the first 15 or 20 minutes, but ever since the Onana goal went in the first, the Onana thumble, whatever you want to call it, went in, our heads dropped and we weren't in the game, really. The scoreline flatters us. And Bayern were not even up to it, in my opinion. I don't think they were that good. If they were playing against Man City tonight, I think they would have lost. If they were playing against Real Madrid tonight, they would have lost. I don't think they were great. They had a couple of other good chances to score. They hit the post twice. Manchester United had the chances we had, plus Eriksen missed the chance in the first half that he should have scored, and that was it. We had probably 4 chances. Everybody in the chat is saying, bring back David De Gea. People are saying, what happened to Donny van de Beek? I don't know what's going on with Donny van de Beek. People saying, why does Erik ten Hag never change Marcus Rashford? I don't know personally. Is there something in Rashford's contract that says that he has to play? Potentially. I don't know. I'm not going to, try and tell you guys why he starts Rashford every single game, why he never drops him. It is a little bit strange for me personally. I don't really get it. Yeah. But yeah, for me, I think nobody really came away from that game with their, with any credit, personally. I think they were all pretty poor. Reguilon looked all right in the first half. I thought he was trying harder than everyone else, but I still wouldn't say he was particularly good. I just thought that he was putting in a little bit more effort than the other players. But I want you guys to let me know how you feel after that one. Obviously, Casemiro got 2 goals, but I think he was pretty crap for the rest of the game, and both of his goals were relatively dodgy, to be honest. It wasn't like he scored 2 beautiful goals. One of them, he was on the floor and scooped it into the goal. And the second one was a kind of deflection off a Bruno Fernandes cross, wasn't it? Somebody in the chat's mentioning Anthony Martial. And you know what? Anthony Martial came onto the pitch and he made a difference. So fair play to Martial. He looked pretty good. Obviously, Rasmus Højlund got his goal. Rasmus Højlund worked hard. Rasmus probably did everything that he probably could have done in that game. So there's not really any criticism going his way. He had 1 shot and he scored. And what else can you really say? He can't cross the ball into the box for himself, can he? If he doesn't get a delivery, he's not going to have a chance to score. He gets 1 pass from Rashford and he scores. And that kind of just shows you where we are at the moment. Somebody says he takes off Højlund every time. What message does that send? The thing with Rasmus Højlund is, you have to remember, right, is that he was injured. So I think the thing with Rasmus Højlund is they're slowly bringing him back into the matches. They don't want to give him a full 90 minutes and, make him injured again. So I can understand why they're doing that, but I do get it. Yeah, you know what? We've got a game on Saturday now. That's the good thing about football, especially when you're in lots of competitions. We don't have a massive gap between games. Hopefully, Burnley on Saturday, we go out and we completely blow them away, because if we don't beat Burnley on Saturday, me personally, I've said this to you guys many, many times before, I'm not going to be Erik ten Hag out. I'm not. I back Erik ten Hag. I think until you get new owners, until we get a new CEO, until we get directors of football, proper scouts and all the rest of it, I think changing the manager is pointless. You could bring in anybody in world football and they wouldn't succeed in our current structure. So for me, Erik ten Hag's job is safe. I don't know what it means for everyone else, though. Obviously, if we lose to Burnley on Saturday, is his job in jeopardy? I don't think so personally. I think that Manchester United are going to stick with him, because even if you look at it on a financial level, right? I spoke about this on the show yesterday. Erik ten Hag's got 2 years left on his deal, £9 million a year. That's £18 million in wages they'd have to pay him to sack him. Who are they going to bring in? De Zerbi? They'd probably have to give Brighton £20-30 million in compensation. It's going to cost Manchester United anywhere between 40 and 50 million to get rid of Erik ten Hag and bring in a new manager. And they're simply not going to do that because they don't like to spend money. So why would they do that? Yeah, I don't think it's the right decision anyway. I'm just saying, if I was in the Glazers' head or in the club's head, I think they'd say, let's stick with him, because otherwise we're going to spend 40 to 50 million on a new manager and it still might not even work, But let me know what you guys think about that. Everybody's saying Erik ten Hag is going nowhere. Let's just hope that we go out and slaughter Burnley on Saturday. We have to. We have to beat Burnley. We will be doing a watch along for that game. I'm going to wrap the video up here though, guys. I'm going to go and try and relax a little bit for the rest of the evening now. Obviously, it's been a bit of an unfortunate evening. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined us on either the watch along or the match reaction. I will be back live at 8 a.m. UK time tomorrow for your usual morning show. Please do make sure to smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you all later.